Yeah, let me pull this up real quick because I just want to get everybody's thoughts on this. I didn't get a chance to talk about this earlier before we talk a little bit about MegaCon. But hey, y'all, guess where I went this week? For those of you not on Twitter or that may not have seen the community post, this happened. Come on, cursor. I think they need to change the sign. So let me tell you about this story. I pull up in the Reedy Creek parking lot, and it was just by accident. I didn't realize I was fixing to drive by it. And I forget where I was going to, somewhere around Disney grounds. See the sign, and I got so excited. You thought I was driving up to go get on the Velocicoaster the first time. I was so excited. I pulled into the parking lot, and I get out the car, and I start walking like away from the building. So my back's to the building. I'm walking back out towards the street to go take a picture of the sign. I didn't get 15 feet from the car. The very nice lady at the security desk up front came out the front door and chased me down. Sir, I'm sorry, where are you going? I said, well, I was actually just going to go take a picture of the sign. And she's like, okay, well, we can't have people parking here and going, there's like a big hotel or restaurant or something across the street. She's like,
Sure.
we can't have people parking here. She's like, okay, so who are you with? Where are you going? And I tell her, I was like, well, I've been covering the whole, story on the Disney lawsuits and things like this, the change to the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District for about the last year. She's like, oh, what newspaper are you with? I was like, oh, I'm a YouTube channel. I mean, I was very honest with her. And I started talking about it, and I said, well, they just lost their federal case a couple of days ago. She's like, I heard some people in here talking about that yesterday, walking around the office. I didn't even know anything about it. So I proceeded for 10 minutes standing inside the Reedy Creek building at the front desk, talking to the security guard, explaining the entire thing. She was fascinated. I'm like, now so it's like, you're probably going to be hearing more conversation in this office soon enough. So she was very kind after that. I went outside.
You just got this person fired, probably. You know that, right?
Maybe. But I doubt it. I mean, she was a very nice lady sitting there at the desk. She was just doing her job.
It wasn't a lady. It was a guy named Bill.
No, it wasn't a guy named Bill.
I'll just say that for now to save her job. Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, it was a guy named Bill. Sure. But no, the thing is that, like
Red
I said,
hair, overbite, 3 nostrils. Your
I was
job
like,
is safe.
You can watch me go over there. I said, I'm not leaving my car here. I need 1 minute, 60 seconds. I'm going to go walk in front of the sign. I'm going to take some pictures, do a little quick video or something. And then I'm going to get back in my car and head out. That was it. But instead of heading back to the car immediately, when I finished that, I walked inside because I wanted to go make sure the lady knew. Okay, I told her, I said, okay, I'm done. I'm all good. I'm going to, thanks for, giving me a minute. She's like, that was it. I said, that's all I needed. She's like, okay, what were you doing here? And that's when the conversation started. 10 minutes I stood there and we talked about, explained to her everything. She's like, well, which side? She asked me at one point, she's like, well, who were you rooting for? Like, which side of this were you on? I said, oh, that's easy. I was on the side of the law, and the law won. She didn't know. I don't think she knew because she wanted me to say, were you rooting for Ron DeSantis or were you rooting for Disney? And I'm like, I was on the side of the law. Law won. That was it. No lies detected, folks. So it was actually pretty funny doing that. But yeah, so here we got this federal court case with this. Guess what? Everything that we've been saying since all this started, it happened. Disney didn't have a First Amendment claim. It was ridiculous from the get-go. And look, I'm not a lawyer, but you didn't need to be one to read this and go, well, wait a minute. Disney has no legal standing in this case. Legal Mindset told you that from day one. In fact, I think we probably did a video or a live stream together right when it happened. There's no, we both knew there's nothing here because Reedy Creek is not a part of Disney. It's not. It's not a corporate subsidiary of Disney. Right. It is a wholly owned subsidiary by the voters of Florida or of the voters of Florida. It is completely under the power of the state legislature. And the funny thing was, and I can't find it, it's buried so far back on Twitter right now, and I can't remember where I saw it. And Legal may have posted this. Disney even in the case, in the filing, acknowledged the fact that, well, yes, indeed, the state of Florida, of course, does have the power over special taxing districts. Well, then what are we doing here? It's like, and the judge even put that in his ruling on the motion to dismiss, which is like, even Disney agrees that the law is not on their side. And even Disney seems to agree that they have no legal standing. It's like, Disney, look, we told y'all from the beginning, Disney knew the case was BS. They may have lawyers that are stupid, but they ain't that stupid, okay? None of the lawyers were from Florida either, as Andrew has pointed out many times. Legal mindset, Andrew, which was a problem from them as well because they didn't understand how those laws worked in the state of Florida. They were California lawyers, New York lawyers. They were lawyers from blue places you'd expect. But the fact of the matter is, there was nothing going on this. I think Disney knew that from the outset. They had, half a dozen other claims on the original federal suit. Remember, they dropped all those voluntarily. They dropped all those other claims because of the state case that was going to hold it up, and they left nothing but the constitutional issue of free speech, which was the weakest, most pathetic, most ridiculous argument they had. No action was taken against the Walt Disney Company. The Walt Disney Company was not penalized. Ron DeSantis didn't close the parks.
Yeah. Let's remember the number of outlets out there that told you that this was a slam dunk for Disney. Florida had overstepped its bounds. This was the stupidest, dumbest thing, and it was going to be egg on the face of everybody involved, and yada, yada, yada. And we said the opposite. We were in the vast minority by saying that because we're not, corporatists.
Right.
But guess what? This didn't go to trial, folks. That's what you need to know.
Yeah.
This did not go to trial. It was thrown out.
Yep.
Thrown out before trial because Disney has no standing even.
No. And for those, what is no standing? It just means regardless of the merits of the case, which there were none, to be clear, that Disney itself had no standing to even file the suit. That's what the judge ruled. He said, this lawsuit coming from the Walt Disney Company is bupkis because the Walt Disney Company doesn't seem to have anything to do with this because the action was taken against Reedy Creek. It was taken against a legislative or a legislatively created special taxing district. What does that have to do with the Walt Disney Company? How were their rights impacted by a state legislature exercising its constitutional authority? It wasn't. Go home. Disney knew all this. They knew all this when they filed the damn thing. But like we told you, they wanted to have a media baseball bat to beat on Ron DeSantis for a year. That's what they wanted. But they lost. The law won. So there you have it, folks.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.